Let me see. And go our live. Oh, thank God. Hi guys. Sorry that I think Heather's even texting me, and it's just Zoom decided to update right while I was going live, so it kicked me out and I had to go back in. So sorry, Heather. I'm just gonna try to find you right now on my phone on YouTube to make sure that we're okay and you can see me. But if not, I'm just not ignoring you. I'm just gonna check, make sure that everything is okay. I'm sure that Heather is already there. Going through all this. I'm gonna make sure that my volume is at the lowest. So give me 1 second. I'm just lowering the volume. Perfect. And I'm just checking, like I said, I'm just making sure that Heather can see me. And she just texted me wondering if I was okay. Heather, everything was fine until I updated the system. I went live and right away Zoom kicked me out, saying that it needed to be updated. And it went through the entire process of updating and there was not much I could do. Sorry, Heather. Usually it's pretty good, but today was just one of those days. There we go. I see myself. Let me just kill the volume. Again, new phone. Perfect. I see them. Okay, perfect. I'm just waiting for Heather. I think she's trying to text me at the same time. I'm sorry. Like I said, my apologies. I hope you guys are all okay. We're coming through my dining room table today because we are actually going to do something really fun. It's going to take us 2 weeks to do it. It's going to be 2 live sessions. And like I said, Heather is texting me right now, making sure that I'm still alive. Yeah, I am live. Yeah, so I'm just, we're trying something a little bit different and, we're going to just make sure that she's, she can find us. So just give me 1 second. Like I said, okay, there you go. Sorry, Heather, like I was saying, it's just Zoom updated as soon as I went in to go live, it just updated everything, kicked me out of the system. So I had to relog on to Google and the whole procedure again, but we're okay now. Hi, Lori. I hope you guys are all okay. Like I said, we're just gonna wait a few more minutes because I'm a little bit late. We'll make up the time, don't worry. But like I said, this project is gonna take us, I'm gonna say 2 weeks. We're gonna build part of it today. We're gonna go through the bones of it. And next week, we're going to do the embellishing and I'm going to show you a few tricks. And I'm not going to put pictures in it. We're going to do a mini album. And you know what? I was thinking about different ways to create it. And instead, we're going to go with like a ring. So I pull a ring from my stash. And I've created a project like this before where we had all the new washi tapes. And it's like very fun. So I thought it would be great for you guys to, document not your holidays, but you have those special pictures that you want to keep or you want to give it as a keepsake. It is a labor of love. And I mean by that, it's going to take some time. It's not like a layout that starts and finish. It's going to take a little bit longer, but everything is fine. Actually, Thanksgiving for us in Canada was in October. So we had a great time, even though we were just coming out of lockdown. So it was just us. But we are doing okay. I hope you all American guys had a good Thanksgiving, a good, Black Friday. I think we are ready to flip the camera. I'm just waiting, like I said, before we did all of this, we were talking with Heather about there's a few things that I'm going to make sure that I add a list of all this material that we're going to use because there's quite a bit. We're going to go pull out your dies, pull out your shaker cards, pull out your stars. We're going to be something really festive. So remember, as we go along, be sure to comment at the end. Heather will be picking a winner for a gift certificate to the shop. I think it's $15. And also don't forget that, if there's any questions on what I'm using, there's a lot. Heather will help you. And if there's any other questions, I'm going to try to read as I go along. And then we'll come back. And like I said, we're not going to finish this today. We're going to work on pieces that are going to put together, and then we'll come back and finish it next week. So I'm going to flip the camera and we are going to get started. So hopefully I don't, kill the feed because today has been one of those days. So there we go. We're live. Perfect. So I think you can see me. I hope that, I zoom in the camera because really what we're going to work on is on an A2 size album. So I've already done a little bit of work. I haven't done much, a little bit of work ahead of time, just because we're going to get started with this. And we're going to use Holiday Magic. I'm going to use the colors of this. I'm going to use a lot of white. so that we have a nice combination of color and you can see the patterns and we can have everything like, working nicely. So I'm just reading here what everybody is, arriving. I know that this time of the year, like, people are shopping, people are getting ready for the holidays. So there's a lot, like less people going online, and that's okay. Like I said, we're gonna take our time, we're gonna build slowly, and then we're gonna come back and embellish it. And I wanna see what you guys do with the ideas. So make sure you hit the like button, of course, because then you get more people seeing it. And if you share, again, Heather will take care of it after and give a gift certificate to one of the lucky winners. So let's put this aside. And my idea for the mini, and like I said, if I'm going to add the supply list after this, I gave Heather a preliminary list, and it's quite big. And you're going to laugh when you're going to see all the stuff that I pulled. Okay. And this is just half. Okay. This is what I pulled, and it's tons of product. A lot has to do with the Holiday Magic collection. So half of this is that. I put some pieces from the best days because we might come, it might come in handy. I put tags. I put, a lot of tags, a little banners, some, frames. Because when we're creating a mini, we have to think about ways that we can frame photos, that we can put attention onto some things. So I thought that the best way that we can, mix the collection with photos and everything is to add quite a bit of white and some interest. So let's get started with the covers. So I'm going to put this aside, and we're going to go slowly. Like I said, it is going to take us some time, but we're going to rock it. So the way we're going to build a cover, and I created the front cover. Okay, you're going to hear it? It's ready. So I've even put the dimensions. So I cut a piece of chipboard, and this is the one that comes when you buy anything, like for example, the scrapbook.com, the papers come with chipboard behind it so they won't fold. I am using that. This piece is cut to 4 3/4 by 6. I want it to be bigger than an A2 card. So I put the dimensions there, and so you have it ready. I'm just tying my hair because we're gonna get into building this. Now I am using this paper here, and I cut it from the 12 by 12. This paper here is called Feeling Festive. This is from the 12 by 12 Holiday Magic collection. It's the one that has the stripy lines. And I picked this paper because it has all the colors from the collection, like a sampler of all the colors. And I cut this paper, I cut 2 of them to 6 inches in width by 7 1/4 in height. So I cut 2 of them. I covered the first one with it. And this is going to be my second one. Sorry, you're going to see my hands. I'm just trying to make sure that I can read your comments as we go live so that I can see what you guys are saying. So let me just pull the sticky notes, like I said. And then I have literally A2 panel. So that's a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which is what is going to become our cover here. Okay. So let's get started. What you're going to need for this, and this is pretty much how all the covers of mini albums get created, is you're going to need scoring board. So I have mine here, and I brought this because it's also a trimmer at the same time. So, and the best way that I found to glue the paper onto the cardstock, funny or not, is a glue stick. Okay, so we're gonna put it, again, like I said, this is what's gonna be facing out. The stripy sided paper is gonna be facing out. We wanna make sure that, so yeah, I started a little bit late, Janet, so you haven't missed much. Some technology issues today, so, but we're fine now. Might take us a little bit longer, but don't worry, this is gonna be a 2-part week, so we'll be okay. Heather and I chatted about it, and we decided that it would be nice, to do something festive and fun for the end of the year. So again, this is going to be glued straight onto this, but I want to score one side. It's just going to help me with folding it. And so I'm going to just touch a line here. Literally, that's what I'm going to do for the folding, and I'm just going to score it. And that's just going to help me create that crisp edge that I want at the edge of the chipboard in this case. So that's going to see, okay? And a bone folder, anything is going to come really handy to burnish that edge. Okay, I am not gluing yet. I want to make sure first that, I have everything folded. Okay, I'm going to go again here. Just like I said, let's see. I might have to, again, the scoring board is not an exact measurement, it's just to help me create those lines. So there might be a little bit of cheating, you know, not cheating, but just make it easier. You want to have that crisp line at the edges. So again, I'm just sketching a line here to create my border. And I think I'm going to be without any, what brand is it? This is at, I'm going to flip it for you to see it. This is a We Are Memory Keeper trim and scoreboard. It's called All the Works. It actually does, you can create envelopes with this. It's kind of magical. But I like it because, like I said, it's a one and like, you know, a one for all kind of situation. It does pom-poms and a lot of stuff like that. So again, have my edges ready. I'm gonna flip it this way. Just trying to guesstimate the center. It's a little bit harder when you're doing this. That's what I'm leaving. Like I said, there's at least, this one here is 4 3/4. This one here is 4 this is 6. This is 4 3/4. So there's around a 1 1/4 difference. So I have enough to create the folds. Again, I'm just trying to score the edges so that I have those crisp lines. Maybe a little bit higher, Nathalie. And I'm gonna have a meeting with myself as I create this because, you know, and the funny thing is I'm not a fan of mini albums, like, because I document in a small format on an everyday basis. But I think when it comes to, like, you know, having those special pictures and stuff like that, it's always nice to have something, you know, nice and handy that looks nice on your table or wherever you, like, you know, on your dresser. We have a sofa table, so it's nice to have them there. People can pick them up and, like, you know, look at them compared to having a scrapbook page that has the larger pages to go through it. Like you see, I have a new phone that actually kicks me out every time. Hola, hola, Aida. So, you know, but mini books are nice. I mean, it's a nice keepsake. The one I'm going to build today, actually, I am not going to put pictures because I'm going to give it to my sister so she can put pictures of my niece and nephew. You know, she is very crafty, but she doesn't have time. Yeah, she has a very demanding job. So, you know, I do the work and she does the, you know, the beauty fine. So there we go. We have all our edges nicely in place. So what are we going to do? Again, a glue stick is the best way that I, you know, and you're gonna put as much as you can. So you want to make sure that it literally, it looks like a snot on the, you know, and I have that phrase from Vicky because she always says, Natalie, you gotta put it as it looks like a snot on your chipboard. So make sure you add quite a bit of it. If you put liquid glue, I found it that the paper at the bottom tends to buckle because of the quantity of liquid that you add in it. So having a glue stick, it actually avoids that. And you don't have those bubbles and you have that nice crisp edge. Again, you know, different, it's not the same for everybody, I think, yeah? So I'm just gonna go ahead, put it in place here. And then you squish it because you wanna have, like, you know, all the nice, really stuck together here. And you're gonna see my camera flip a little bit. Okay, so we're not gonna fold yet. So I have my hands a little bit. Let me just clean them up. I have some of the glue in my fingers. So I have some up here handy. Right up. There we go. So I think we're ready with this. Now you're gonna, let's close this because we don't need it. We don't want it to dry. Okay, you press scissors. And literally we are gonna create the folds, but for that we need to, like, you know, we don't wanna have the chunky edges right here. So we need to trim a little bit of the extra here. So what about double? Yeah, it works too, but because I wanna make sure that I don't have no bubbles. Lori, I don't wanna have any bubbles here and I want it to be completely flat against the chipboard. This works better. Then you have like a complete, like the paper is completely stuck to the chipboard. So you don't have, like, when you do double-sided tape, you have lines. Instead, it's completely glued. So that's where we're going with that. So now we're gonna start cutting our edges. So we're gonna go little, I'm gonna try to get as close so you can see it. Right here, not all the way to the end. So I'm gonna try to put it as close so you guys can see it. Not all the way to the end. Instead, I'm gonna kind of create a little curvature there. So give it a little bit of space. Think of it like a soft crescent. That's the way. So here, a little bit higher. There we go. And I'm gonna do it all. You can see it. A little here, and it kind of curves a little bit higher. There we go. We might have to trim a little bit after, don't worry about it. We're gonna create the folds and then before we glue it in place. So it's not like, you know, rocket science, we can fix that. Okay, so we have our edges and I'm gonna move the trimming thing here so it's out of the way. Put it here on my chair. I'm just making sure that my phone, I have a new phone, so it actually goes, you know, weird. So again, you're gonna see, and there's a little trick here. Take your glue, you're gonna put it right here at the edge of your chipboard. Slowly put it here on the side, so your sides are gonna be nicely glued, like, you know, to the edge of the paper. You're gonna have that crisp line. A bone folder, the best tool you can use right now, and just burnish that in place. Okay. And it actually dries quite quick. So, you know, keep that in mind. Again, glue stick, a little bit on this side here. Yeah, the chipboard, you can use, anything that, this was from packaging. I'm gonna show you exactly where it came from. Because I have it here. You know, when you buy stuff from scrapbook.com and I'm not plugging them, I just happen to get it from there and it comes packed like this, the papers come packed in between here so they won't fold. You can use that, it works fine. You can use a cereal box if you have to. You can use corrugated cardstock if you want to. I just find that this chipboard, for some reason, it's much better than a lot of them. So here, remember the little edge that we left? Just kind of use your bone folder, kind of pull it back inside to create that crisp edge. And then we're gonna hide it with the other side. And there we go. So we're just gonna kind of use the tip here to kind of hide it and have the crisp edge. And there we go. You see? Okay, we're gonna keep working on this. Yeah, you can use you can use the cereal boxes. That chipboard is fine, like that cardstock is fine. You just want something a little bit heavier than the regular pattern paper. Just because you want to make sure that like the stuff that we're going to put inside of this, we're going to use tags, we're going to create some banners, you're going to put some pictures. So you want to get something a little bit sturdier. You're going to see the difference. Look, I have already covered my front. See how it has like nice and flat. It's doesn't bend. You want to do that to protect your photos inside. So I'm going to go here. I'm trying to think what else you can get the cardstock from. Like I said, a box of cereal will be the best way, or like anything like that type of cardstock that works fine. So I'm just creating the edges here. Okay, so we're almost finished with part of the cover. This is, like I said, this is my front cover. This is gonna be my back cover. So my phone is, like I said, see what happens when you have a new phone? It's just like, you know, you put it in those battery saving thingies and the comments disappear for me. I don't know how I fix that, but well, another day we'll do that. For now, we're just gonna keep working and Heather's gonna help me with the comments. So there we go, okay? Like I said, my back cover, you see I didn't push the edge here a little bit, so just push it in a bit with the tip of your bone folder. And there we go. See, I have no bubbles, kind of straight. There's gonna be a little bit, there we go. So this is ready. Now we can go front cover. It's already covered. I don't want anything here because that's gonna go right at the top here. We're gonna add some stuff here. This is my back cover. Now my idea is I'm gonna add here, I wanna add a pocket at the back of my cover. So we can go two ways with this. Okay, we can add a pocket that actually hides, like kind of goes around it so we can hide it, or we can add a pocket that goes on top of it so you have extra space. And I think for the sake of this, I'm gonna add it on top. So I'm not gonna glue this in place. Actually, I can go ahead and glue it. Let's do that. Otherwise, we're gonna have a lot more to build after. Again, my favorite thing to when I'm creating like the covers is glue sticks, and I might go with like an entire glue stick sometimes on just on covers. So yes, upcycle your cardstock, ladies. It will work. For the mini albums, I think like the cardstock that comes in cereal boxes, it works much better than the, like, you know, or if you can find chipboard, that works fine too. I've created mini album covers using when you buy photo paper. Usually photo paper, it comes with two covers that protects the paper from folding. It's really heavy cardstock, and I've used that also. I use it as part of my sandwich when I'm actually creating my foiling, especially for those ones that have those really thin lines, like the abstract triangles from Pink Fresh Studio. I use that as part of my sandwich. So, hi, Carol, you're not late. I was late. Yeah. Well, the glue stick holds. You'll be amazed. You have to put quite a bit though. Like I said, you have to put glue so that it looks like you put in snot on your paper. Don't just put a little bit. You have to put quite a bit. It looks like snot on your paper. You're gonna put it. You need this, so you just like kind of press it down, and you'll be fine. Yeah, this is, look, I'm gonna show you exactly. This is washable school glue stick. I've bought like 6 of them, just in case, because I'm good with that. So there we go. We have our front, we have our back. I think this is a 1 inch, 1.5 inch ring. And what I liked about this is that it opens. So I pulled that. I pulled some eyelets. I have my little, I forgot my crocodile. So what am I doing next week? But I got my little eyelets, but I'm gonna set them in place. We might do that outside of the camera, but let's work on the pocket. So for that, I haven't cut it yet, but I'm gonna use the lacy edges, okay? I want something that is nice. I think I like that. I like that. Okay, this is the lacy edges. This is just the essentials. This is the A2 card size. I'm not using the other one. Yeah, you know what? And I didn't used to say it's not, it's like really heavy. And then my friend, Vicky Boutin, one time said it, and I was like, you're so smart. That's the best way to define it, is make it look like it's not. And that will give you the consistency of what you wanna, you want it to look like. So I want my pocket actually to be a different color. Like I don't want it to be white. In an ideal world, I would like it to be white. But I think we need to, like, the collection has so many beautiful patterns that I think we need to use some of it. So, like I said, today is gonna be, let's build the bones of this, and we'll come back and like, oh, so let's see. Scarlett is a new pack, because Kinari was nice to send me 2 packs of this, which I'm very grateful, because I pretty much killed my first collection. So let's go with something nice. You want something really like, more of a solid pattern. So you want to choose it from the 6x6. This pattern is smaller, so they look more like a solid instead of a 12x12. The patterns are more dispersed, they're bigger. So you won't, when you create your edge, it won't be as delicate or noticeable. So keep that in mind. It's better to cut it from your 6x6. So let's just pick something that is, that will look nice behind here. We can go with stars. Yellow will be, well, it doesn't really matter. So let's just go, from the back here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and trim this. I'm gonna take it out better. Oh, which pattern do I want to use? Maybe some blue. Let's just go. Red. I kind of like this one. Let's go with some pink and red. We're gonna take this out. Can't wait to. Right, so we want our pocket. Remember, we're gonna have to punch a hole here. So you don't want to make sure that your tag doesn't go all the way up here. So I'm gonna say my tag is probably, or the photo, whatever, is gonna be 3x4. So I want my pocket to hit right there. So I'm just gonna take a pencil, because again, this is professional math, which is guesstimating, to mark it there. Okay, so we have a mark, and I'm gonna bring my die cutting machine. Actually, I have it handy. So you see, shaking happens in all my life. Something is bound to happen. So let's pray, that we don't bring the house down. So again, so let's see. Yeah, you know what? Like I said, we're building the bones. I'm going to show you some ideas on what we're going to put inside. I forgot to bring the other one that was the inspiration, but we're just going to, and you can use this in your December daily albums. You can use this in your layout. You can use this in your cards. I went and literally I looked at some of Jasmine's cards, because I was like, oh, maybe I do an interactive. Like I did a lot of, I had some ideas, but I want to make sure that you have something, like I said, something nice that you can put your pictures, you can put your recipes. Like it doesn't have to be a December daily, but it's nice to have around because you have, if you're like me, you have quite a few pictures when it comes to December. Don't forget, I have 3 birthdays in December, so there's quite a bit to photograph. So all I'm doing right now is I'm just gonna cut that decorative edge, and I'm using the Lazy Edgers Dyson. So sorry if the camera is like, shaking, it's because I'm on the table doing everything. Of course, my machine got stuck right when I needed it, as always. There we go. I might do a second pass just to be safe. Okay. So sorry for the shaking. I make sure that the camera was a little bit closer because, I'm not doing a large format so you can see what I'm doing. There we go. And I promise I'm going to show you the rest. I am not going to cut it. I'm going to tell you how I'm going to cut it. And then next week I have it ready for you. So, put this out of the way. I have my edger here, my edge. You're going to see, like I said, I wanted something that has a detail, but not like a lot of it. The little pieces out. I bought this little thing and it's like the best thing I bought. It actually does help with cleaning up the edges. But still, because I did a double cut, it's gonna take all of it's gonna come out. It's just so little pieces that sometimes they're a little bit annoying. I gotta be honest. So leave it there for now, Natalie. Put this outside. And there we go. Remember how we marked the edge here? I created a little mark. I'm gonna tell you exactly how big this is. This is gonna be at around 3 1/4. That's where we're gonna create the pocket. So I'm gonna give it around, I'm gonna cut 3 5/8. Okay, so I'm gonna flip it here so you can see it. 3 5/8. We're gonna fold it, the edge here. Again, I'm gonna go back into my little scoreboard. Okay. That's what I set up. Put the camera closer so you can see it. Let me just make sure that I read any comments. Okay. Mini albums, yeah, they are a great gift. Like I said before, not a fan of them because I do document on a traveler's notebook every day. So I do a mini album, like, for my personal documenting. I do large formats. So it's like, not that I love them. It's not that I do them that often, but I thought it would be a great thing to do to finish the year, for you guys to have. And the collection is beautiful, so it will come in, really nice. So let's go and start folding this. Again, remember, I said around 3 3 3/4. So I'm gonna say around, this is what, 1/2 inch? I'm gonna fold that. No, sorry, 3/8. I can even read here, 3/8. This is out of the way. So we're gonna create that fold, and that's gonna help us create the pocket. That's gonna go on the back, okay? So let's see. You never created, really? You have never created a mini header? You know what? I think once you get the hang of it, especially if you're a card maker, I'm gonna be like honest, I think it'd be so much easier for you. Think of it as putting different cards, like not different cards, but cards that like from the same collection together in a bound format. That's what a mini album is. It's having like a collection of cards together, and you add photos and sentiments to it. You can make it interactive. You can make it, we're not gonna make it interactive because then we're gonna need an entire week to do that. But we're gonna make it fun, and like I said, I think you're gonna like it. So let me see, I have my pieces here, my back, I have my front, this is my back. Okay, this one here is gonna be the pocket that goes right at the bottom. Remember, this is 3 3/8. Sorry, 3/8, not 3 3. 3/8, that's gonna be my bottom, or we can go this way, because it's, you see I cut the ugly edge here. Let's put it at the top so it looks nice. It's gonna be at the bottom. Again, remember, this is 4 1/4. So I wanna make sure that I cut it a little bit bigger. So let's go with this part here. We're gonna cut it right at the edge here, and then we're gonna guesstimate, okay? Let's get rid of, first of all, of the extra paper. So we wanna make sure that we have the nice edge. And now we're gonna see what looks better on our pocket here. So remember, this is gonna be folded, it's gonna sit right there. Now you can go ahead and fold the entire thing, or we can do right there. So we're gonna mark it, okay? Because we wanna make sure that we know where we're gonna fold. So more or less here and here. I show you Okay, remember when you're creating a pocket, you're gonna put something inside. So you don't wanna make it super tight because then it's gonna be hard for you to slip things in and out of the pocket. So you wanna give it an extra, a little bit of space to be able to do that, okay? So we're gonna flip this here. Okay, we have a little mark right here. So I'm gonna make sure that it goes on to the other side. Okay, so remember this is, so I'm gonna give it around 1/8 of an inch. This is right at 5 and like 5/8. I'm gonna go at a half. Slowly like this. Don't worry about the part up here. We're gonna trim that. So don't worry. We just wanna create, you know, the edges. And again, here is at, let me see, exactly 5/8. I'm gonna go to 1 at half. Yeah. So I'm giving it a little bit of extra space. So when I create the fold, nothing is tight underneath. Okay. Go ahead. I'm gonna flip this here. You have never, oh my God, you have never made it to one. You have never made a mini album? Oh, you know what? We'll talk about it. Not my favorite thing to do, but I'm gonna try to add a few more once we work it. But again, can be that, like, you know, it's gonna take a little longer than one class, like longer than one session. See, just on this, we're already taking like, just to create the cover, we're already taking like 20 minutes. Yeah, and you have to create 2. So there's different ways that you can do it, but we're gonna try to add a few more. Like I said, if you're a card maker, then this is great to put, like, think of it adding a few cards together. So we have our little pocket here. Let's bring my little piece here. See, again, we're gonna go again to the little thing that we did before. We're gonna cut little triangles at the back. Okay, remember it's gonna fall, it's gonna be your flap. You're gonna do the same thing here. You're creating the flaps. Okay, when you fold it, see, you're gonna cut that extra because you don't want to see that little, you know, wisp of paper. Okay, there we go. Do the same on the back here. There we go. Yeah, you can, if you do this in a card, like this little pocket inside of your card, and you put your gift cards inside. I've done that too. For my sisters, they're 23, like my older, like my little sisters, they're older. So, you know, it's good to have a gift card, put it inside your card, create the pocket. There you go. See right there? I just don't want to see this part here. So that's what we're gonna say. We're gonna do the smart thing because we're just gonna trim it right there. Little triangle to create my flap. Okay. Trim it right here. Little triangle to create my flap. There we go. We have our pocket. Okay. And we're gonna secure it. Okay. Oh, we'll see in a bit. So let's see. You haven't done a mini to scrapbooking days, and that's okay. If you haven't done a mini, that's okay. Again, like I said, I pulled some of the ideas that I'm using today are actually from cards. So if you're a card maker, you can easily create a mini album. Think of it as, you know. So let's go. I'm gonna use red line tape just because I know it's very secure. You can use double-sided tape. You can use glue on this. That's okay. Just my preference on this, especially because it's gonna be a place that's gonna have things that are gonna be moving. Red line tape is a little bit sturdier, so I'm gonna go with that, especially on the flaps. Okay. Yeah, you can fill it with cards. Like I said, you know, there's a few ideas. If you're a card maker, you can use them for your cards. Because literally what we're gonna do is create a few cards and put them together in a mini album using scrapbooking products and everything else that I found that said Pink Fresh Studio and looked nice. Literally, I went through my little Pink Fresh Studio folder. I was like, oh, I like this. This will work. This will work. And I was like, Heather said, oh, Nathalie, you know, can you help me with the supply list? And I'm like, oh God, if you only knew how much I pulled, Heather. So I put a little bit together. I'm gonna add it after, and then, you know, you'll see it. We might add more stuff next week. So all I'm doing right now is peeling the back of the red line tape. Okay, I'm gonna try to clean as we go. So let's see. See again. Is the edge? Oh, here it is. Okay. So add it here. I have it here. I don't like fiddling with it. Yeah, I know it. You know, red line tape is one of those things that it's hard to deal with, but because it's really sticky, but especially in like high movement places or whatever you want to call them, it's where you want to add it because it's very secure. So there we go. You have your pocket, and you see because we created that fold and we added it on top of your back cover, then you have the extra space. I hope you can see it. Okay, so there's already a space. So if you do a gift card, I don't have one handy, but I have something similar. Wait, before I do something similar. If you do a gift card, you can easily pop it in there. Okay, our choice is gonna be to add photos. You know, you can add recipe cards, whichever works for you. I am all game for, you know, you guys. So there we go. See, simple. If you want to do it the opposite way, well, there's another way to do it. Obviously, there's always different ways to do it. Is you can literally wrap this around your backing paper where it's glued here and then attach it. But that was going to give you a pocket that's really flat. So there's going to be very little space for you to add things. So, okay, much better. If you don't want to cut the edges and fold it, that's fine. I just like the cleaner look. I'm just going to erase the little pencil dots that I have here. Okay. And we have our covers. See, back cover, some real estate for extra photos or whatever you want to add at the back, and your front cover. So these are actually the bones of our album. We are actually going to add, we're going to create the holes. We're going to do that live. I am actually going to use eyelets outside of the camera to create, like, you know, that nice edge. I am not going to do it now, but I do want to mark it where I think it has to go. So I'm going to use my grid here. Okay, so 4.5, it's right. Sorry, this is 6, yeah? So let's say right here. Okay, so once I create one, then I know where the other one's going to go. Okay, so we're going to work. Yeah, see, you don't need a special die. For the edge, you don't need a special die for the edge. What you will, what I suggest is just because I wanted to have it like nice and like that, is that you actually could wrap it around or have like something a little bit finer. I just wanted something nice. So you see that edge here? It's okay. No, it's not gonna, you know, I know my sister's not gonna move that much. Trust me, I know her well. So, but if you want something that is not as delicate, choose an edger that is not so delicate on the edges, so you don't have like, you know, to deal with like maybe some breaking or stuff like that. That's the only thing. But again, real estate for your cars, real estate for like, you know, a lot of things. So let's continue working on this. Now let's create the cover for this. So that's gonna be, you know, the inside is gonna be simple, but the cover is what's gonna take us a little bit longer. The inside is gonna take us a while too. Let's not kid ourselves, you know. So I've gone out of the camera. Accordion fold on the sides. Yes. Could you do an accordion fold on the sides of the pockets? Yes, you could. And okay, you know what? Because I'm gonna show you some, like let me build this and I'm gonna show you what you can do. Okay, so I've cut a few of the frames. This is just 110-pound cardstock. You know, I cut a few. I really wanted to create I was thinking of a shaker pocket, but I think that this is a great place for them, to be honest with you. It's a great place for a shaker pocket. But I want something, actually, I don't want to give it a shaker pocket at the front because I was thinking I might want to add, and I did it outside of the camera. I like this tree, and I want to add the tree right on the center there. So if I do a shaker, the tree is going to be hidden. Instead, I want to put the tree right there, and I might just add some gems. But what we're going to do is, and we're going to do that next week when we do the embellishing, is I actually want to create a rosette that's going to hang from your shaker at the front. Okay, so let's get started on this tree. This tree here is the under the tree stamp set. You have it right here. I have it right here. I have it here. This is the under the Christmas tree stamp set. I've actually gone ahead. I stamped it twice. Just one came out nicely. Don't worry about that. I stamped it with a clear embossing ink, and then I'm using gold embossing powder because I want that shine. Especially consider the front. you already have all this, you know, colors at the front. So you want something that is going to pop. So I thought the gold edge is going to help you. It's going to help you pop it from the background. And we are going to actually add, you know, something else. So that makes it like more like standard. And also what I've stamped on the side here, I did one stamping section, one foiling section. So I had everything in place. This is the seamless starburst circles. This is the stamp set. I also have the layering set because we're going to use this to create, you know, those peppermint candies. If you see the collection, it actually has that, but it looks as, I was going to say light bulbs. They're not light bulbs. They are decoration. Yeah. And I don't want them as decorations. I want them as literally as candies because, you know, if you knew my niece and nephew, they eat a lot of candy, you know, so I want them as candies. So I thought that this will be a great idea to kind of customize our little peppermints, not to red and white, but actually to teal and pink and colors that coordinate with the collection. So I decided to do one single stamping. It's not going to stay as an A2 card. We're actually going to cut tags out of it. So we're going to have fun with this today. I'm going to show you how we're going to cut some of this stuff. And then next week, we're going to put it all together. Okay, so let's get started with building this. Again, like I said, I want to play with a softer palette. It's completely up to you what you want to do. I want to go with like Leah colors, which are teals and pinks. Instead, I'm going to go with teal, a little bit of coral reed, and I'm going to show you a trick to go in the little girl. So let me just find my stencil because I have it right here and I have the die. Trying to be as clean as I can, which is not, you know, coming as properly. I'm going to put this away because, you know, you guys know I have two. I might use three. I think two is enough. I don't want it, like I said, I want it to be fun to cover, but not like over the top because we are going to add more stuff to it. Okay. We'll be here Friday next week because Friday is my day to go live. So, and then we will take a break after that. So this stencil set again is a layering stencil. This is the under the Christmas tree layering stencil set. Is a set of 6, and that's going to help you color your tree and the presents underneath. Okay, so we are going to start with number 1. Again, you have the little notches. If you create a card, you can just put your A2 card because I stamped the image first, and it makes it a little bit easier just to kind of center it, you know. And one of the things you got to keep in mind with this stencil, before I know somebody asked me, is that it does not go like exactly to the edges of the stamping. It's kind of like more of a whimsical look. So if you see like it's not going to be completely covered, that's okay. That's the way it was designed. So don't stress over that. Okay. So let's get started. I have my little mug, my Christmas mug with the colors. So we're going to go with a little bit of Ocean Breeze and Aquamarine to start with. Let's put some Ocean Breeze. Okay, a little bit of color here. And don't stress if you're going to go over the embossing, you know, powder, we can clean that after. So, and don't stress because we're going to cover the garland. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how you can fix that after. So, okay. We're going to go over again. Remember, pick up your ink. I'm using my brushes here. Go on a circular motion on the empty areas of your stencil. That's just going to deposit the color, you know, and create the look. Again, if you go more pressure, you're going to deposit more ink and make it darker. And then, but you want to color all the spaces. So you're going to see that I'm going to pick ink. This is Ocean Breeze. And then just go in. Oh, you have to go work. Thank you, Carol, for being here. Thank you for being, remember, you can watch it on replay. And if you watch it on replay, then do the homework and next week we'll put it all together. Okay, because there's going to be homework. Just trust me, I have to do work too. So, okay, so all we're doing is just adding the ink. We're coloring the tree. I'm just being careful not to, like, you know, move the stencil again. Remember, some of the areas of the stencil are going to be outside of the stamped area. Don't worry about it. That's the way it was designed. Because I freaked out too when I did it for a project recently. I was like, oh, I think, and then I realized that I went to the back of the stencil and the stamp, and I realized what it looked like. Okay, so just gonna go here. very soft. I'm trying to get from like, darker to lighter. So you're gonna see that I'm gonna add a little bit of extra ink here at the top. And I'm adding more pressure at the top. I'm slowly just not picking as much ink and just going down. So it's gonna give me an ombre effect on my tree. Okay. I just want something that is gonna pop a few colors up to here. So I'm gonna lift it up so you can see it. Okay, so here, I'm gonna pick up a little bit of aquamarine, same brush, just a little bit. We're gonna, here, just gonna deepen some of the colors in some areas. Remember, with playing with shadows and lights, we wanna make this look a little bit realistic. So think of it, where places are gonna be under the light, and like there's gonna be extra shadow, especially when you have, the different edges of the layers of the tree. It's gonna be a little bit darker there. So just add a little bit of extra color in those areas. And once I lift it, you're gonna see what I mean. Okay, so just adding a little bit more. Lightly, I'm, taking the axis on my stencil here. And there we go. So now here, these are my 2 inks. I'm gonna put this aside. Just keep it as clean as we can. Yeah, if you see my table, you wouldn't see that. Take your little fabric and just clean the embossed, the embossing. So it's there, and there you go. See how my tree has a little bit, it goes dark, kind of that ombre effect on the on here. So let's just keep working on it. So that's the stencil number 1. Move it to the side, we'll wash it after. Stencil number 2. Hi from Sweden, or did I'm not reading properly, sorry. Okay, stencil number 2 is the second part of the tree and also the stump of the tree. So we're gonna play with the same colors. Just gonna pick something a little bit darker. So we're gonna go with, actually, I'm gonna go with Mermaid Cove. Okay, so again, remember, the more pressure you add, the darker the color is gonna be. So I'm gonna pick up some of the color, clean up some of there, and then go. Okay. That just to be safe that I have a different color. I'm gonna lift it lightly. Okay, and there we go. There we go. Okay, so there we go. Just, I'm not pressing that hard. I'm just going lightly. And again, don't stress if you see, like, I'm covering the, like, the garland. I'm gonna show you a little trick to, have that shiny kind of, like the garland should look like. Again, this is a little bit that it covers here, the light bulb. Don't worry, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna make those yellow or gold, so we can fix them. Okay, so put Mermaid Cove. Sorry, same thing, a little bit darker. Again, a little bit, just where the darker edges go. Okay, so we're just deepening the color in some areas, but I want it to be light and airy. You have a lot of color in the collection. That's what I said, we're gonna play with some white. We're gonna add some gold, some shine, just to break up all that color. So how is that for the tree? So you see how we have those beautiful, like kind of an ombre effect, a softer color. You can make it green if you want to, completely up to you. Okay, so let's put this away. Now, one of the things you have here, you have the little trunk of the tree. So for that, we are actually gonna work with brown. I'm making sure that I have you guys live here. Okay, this is warm buff. My brown brush here. So stick a little bit. Again, I'm not cleaning my, I'm gonna swipe the color. Remember, darker as you get closer to the tree, and then it's gonna lighten as you go down. So I'm not going on circular motion, I'm actually swiping the ink. Okay. Then I'm gonna circular motion. First, you're gonna swipe the ink, and then you're gonna go on a circular motion. So swipe your ink, mix it, like deposit a lot of ink right at the beginning, and then go on a circular motion. So swipe your ink, and then circular motion. Ready, that's all we need. Keep this handy. Clean your stencil a bit. There we go. Okay, our tree is getting there. So now we're going into stencil number 3. That's just gonna give you the total, you can know the definition on your tree. They put it properly here. So let's just move it a bit here. Okay, fix it with your stump. Okay, you're gonna see that a lot of the gold areas is where the darker color is gonna sit. Okay, so don't stress over it. Okay, I'm gonna use for that actually Tidal Pool, which is the darkest color in this set, just a little bit. Okay, again, we're just gonna swipe the color. Going down, because remember, trees go like, they don't go like, you know, the leaves or the branches. So I'm just swiping color. So that gives me that movement of the tree. I'm being careful not to put it on my stamp, and I almost screwed up there. Yeah, just get careful there. You can make this brown too if you want to. I just wanted, like, you know, like I said, when I think of teal, I think of Leah's colors because she loves teal and pink. So put this aside. Okay. The tree is almost done. And then I'm going to take a little bit of dough. Actually, let's go with gathered twigs. A little bit, and just to create the stump. Again, I'm just going to go a little bit like that. And our tree is pretty much going to be done. There you go. Okay, so the base of our tree is done. Now it's going to be all about doing the decoration. How are we doing on time, Heather? And just, you know, see, we're almost done. Like I said, the cover is going to be today. I'm going to show you how we're going to do the rest. And then we'll see next week when we put it all together. So we're going to have homework. Okay. So don't think that, oh, you know, let it go. So now we're going to use the two colors. I want to keep them within, I don't want to add a lot of color. I have my bases. Remember, I have already all these stripies on the, you know, on the color. The tree is going to sit right there. So I want to make sure that I don't have a lot of color. So I'm going to keep my light bulbs to like passion fruit and like coral reef. I don't want to go with pink. I want to go with more like that peachy tone. I'm going to add some yellow for the stars. Okay. And then I'm going to show you the trick with the gold. So before we say goodbye, and I'm going to show you what else we're going to do. So don't, you know, this is all we're going to do for inking. We're going to do today. And then the building we're going to do next week. Okay. So don't stress. I'm going to show you all of this before we go. So coral reef, and all my light bulbs are gonna go. We're gonna see how I'm gonna do it. Coral reef, triangle. Think of zigzag. Okay, so this one, next one here. Okay, and the next one here. Okay. Switch onto passion fruit for the other two. And just go a little bit heavy-handed on that because you want the difference in color. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And there we go. Now you can do the trees this, the presents this color. I am gonna choose to do, I'm gonna do them this color just so it stays like, you know, but I might switch them. I have the other two over here. So I might make those like light blue just to go with the back, like, you know, what I have. But I'm just gonna use a coral reef for one of them. But I wanna go really light. I don't want like a lot of color. There we go. Yeah, the cover is gonna be, you know, like I said, the inside, we're gonna keep it simple. We're gonna use a lot of paper. So that's what I'm not too worried about. I wanted to show you the cover, the pocket, some of the inking, like I give you the idea with the seamless starburst circles. So you have an idea of, you know, what you can do with a stamp that is not necessarily holiday, but can help you with it. So that's what I say, we're gonna do that today. This is a little bit of, no, apricot, peach fuzz. I want some of that peachy tone. Okay, so, and then next week, we're just gonna have fun embellishing and just building the tags. I'm giving you an idea of where it's gonna go inside, but I just wanna get to most of the inking and the, like the bone, like, you know, the cover, which is the hardest part. People always have a hard time with that. There we go. Okay, let's flip it. See that you guys see all of this. Now this one's gonna give you the star. For that, I'm gonna use actually sweet mustard. Have it here ready. Move the things over here. Have my yellow here. Okay, so get a little bit here, and the star is gonna be sweet mustard. Yeah, right here, and I'm gonna go with some of the bulbs here too with sweet mustard. This one here, it's okay. We're just gonna fake until we make it. It's okay. One is not gonna be like, you know, let's call it beautiful. And then again, I'm just gonna choose to do one here, yellow, because I have it handy. And I'm gonna put this aside. And I'm actually gonna bring a little bit of pink for the other one. So I'm using a lead slipper just for the other one. Just wanna get to show you what the trick is. Not the trick, just an idea. Because like I said, I did this for the challenge this week. I used the under the tree, under the Christmas tree stamps for my project. And I was like, oh, I wonder if I can put some gold in there. And I actually use gold glaze for it. But then after thinking, when I was like, oh, I want it for the cover, I was like, okay, which is an easy way that people will have, you know, at hand. So I found something else. So you can change the both. So now here, the way I created this for my project, I actually used gold glaze and I went heavy on it, but you can do this. Get your gold pen. Okay. You're gonna get your gold pen and it's gonna take you a little bit of time. Just gotta center it right there. Okay. Okay, there you go. You don't even have to use the stencil. You can do it like, you know, without the stencil. I just want to show you that, you know, just in case. You can see probably my entire body because I'm leaning on top of the table. Let me just see some of the ink is there. But I thought that if you don't have glaze, because not everybody has like, you know, access to glaze or gold ink, then if you have a gold pen, you can do this. Okay, so you can do it with the stencil, which is the way I'm doing it right now, or you can do it outside of the stencil and then just go. You can do it with white. If you have a white pen, the only thing is because you have the ink, you can probably have to clean your edge of the gold pen because the ink kind of accumulates there, which happened to mine right now, but that gives you an idea. Let me see if I can find another gold pen. I don't have another one handy here, but I'm gonna show you something. I have white. So you just have an idea. If you wanna go with white, which probably might look pretty too. I actually like that better. Okay, go with white. Okay, you have gel pens, you know, I thought like when I was looking at it, when I want to add like a different color to the garland, but because the way the stencil is designed, you're gonna get like, you know, so one of the things you can do is use gold glaze. Just be careful because you have, remember, the second half of the presents at the bottom, or you can go with a different color. In this case, I started with gold, but it got jammed because it's an old pen. Instead, I'm gonna make them white, and that's just gonna make the little circles pop. So all you have to do is you can use the stencil as a guide, or you can freehand it like I'm doing it right now. Okay, so let me just finish it. Since we switched to white, might as well finish everything with white. And I like it. I like the fact that it actually pops. Okay, so what do we think, guys? Simple. I'm gonna put it closer so you can see it. Okay. So you see the little dots now? There we go. Okay, so it actually reads as a garland now. And it's an easy option. You don't need to use anything. You let it dry a little bit. Yeah, if I let it dry, of course it won't jam. But again, remember, we're live. I don't have, you know, a lot of time. But now for my little bows here, I went with gold glaze. You can go with like, you know, anything. Instead, I'm gonna go back to the yellow. Not the yellow. I'm gonna make a different color. Let's make it really festive. So let's go with green. Okay. I'm gonna use grassy knoll. It's gonna make it really, like, you know, the difference gonna be really, really, you know, different. So there we go, right here. There we go. Yes, so just going to make sure that this is center. Yeah, this is center. So again, I'm not gonna be like, you know, worried about, again, there's some little berries there. Don't worry, I'm gonna show you, like, again, pull out your gel pens, pull out your markers. That's the best way that you can do to those little details. They are hard to deal with a stencil. They're hard to do it with, like, you know, with glaze. Pull out your gel pens. Make it, like, you know, be gentle on yourself. That's the best way I can say. This is a jelly roll. I don't even know what color it is, but it leaves a gold glaze after. So I'm just gonna go color my little berries here. Okay, so you tell me what it looks like. Okay, I'm gonna show it to you in 1 second. Let that dry. I'm gonna get it closer to you. I don't know if you can see it. So you see how it actually, because it has a gold shine to it, you can see the berries change color. Oh, the light's really high. There you go, better. Okay, I have the die set. I don't want to cut it online because then it's gonna move everything. But like I said, get this ready. We're gonna build that next week. Okay, so we're gonna die cut this. I'm gonna show you that I have my die cut. Like I said, we're gonna build everything today and we're gonna come back next week to assemble it. Okay, so I have my die. I don't want to bring the die cutting machine because it's gonna, shake everything. Instead, I'm gonna show you how to do the circles, and then we're gonna call it a day. And next week, I'm gonna tell you what else we're gonna do. And next week, we're gonna put it together. So don't stress, you're not gonna missing much. This is, like I said, a labor of love. Okay, I'm gonna show you a few more things that I have at hand that what we're gonna use for next week. All I'm doing right now is just looking for the stencil. Again, if you are using, before, people get confused. If you're using this, like I said, I wanted to use something that is not holiday themed to create what I have in mind. This is the Seamless Starburst Circles. It's actually a stamp set that has if you want to, you can use this stamp here to add the color onto your candy and create your candies. This does not come with a die, and you see that my gold embossing here is kind of messy. That's okay. It's not affecting the end result because we're gonna cut this. This is gonna become our tag. So don't stress over it. You can actually stamp it. Okay. Instead of stamping, I'm actually gonna use the layering set. This is gonna make it easier to create the colors for me. Again, could be different for you. Okay. I'm gonna show you one, and I'm gonna do the other one outside of the camera. And we're gonna, okay, so this one's here. Hope that I get it right. Here, this one is there. Okay. Again, these have little notches as everything we have. Every Pinfree studio has that. This, again, do not sit straight onto the set. If you're gonna see them, there's a little bit of white spaces. They don't sit flush against the circle. So be be gentle with yourself. It's not gonna be perfect. This stencil and this stamp set is not going to be perfect and you're going to stress over it. It's not that way. So, just keep that in mind when you're doing that. Okay. So again, we're going to use back the colors that we use for the tree. We're going to go with Coral Reef. So I have this here, my little brush for that. Have it here. So this is different, stencil one is going to create some of them. So we're going to go with it. And I'm just using Coral Reef. That's it. You can do whatever you want. I just want kind of bring everything together by repeating some of the colors. There is a lot of color. It's a beautiful collection. The Holiday Magic collection, it has a rainbow, which I love. But when you're creating a mini album, and especially this, you don't want to have an overload of color and pattern. So be smart of where, the colors that you choose for some of your pieces, just to make it a little bit tighter, a little bit more seamless put together. Because if you have a lot of color, then your photos are not going to pop that much because, again, you have that competition. So just, that's what I'm deciding, because I could have gone all with paper, but I decided to create some pieces with the dies and the stamps, just because you can control what, the colors that you add in, and give it more of, what's his name? A more finished looking without being an overload of pattern and color. So that's the best way that I can describe it. So I don't have to be heavy on this, just lightly. Okay, we have our first, that's a stencil one. Okay, I'm gonna put it over here because we gotta clean up. Stencil two is actually gonna give you the color of the other candy. Now you can go the same color. I'm gonna go back into, oh, where I put it away. See, right here. I'm gonna go back into Ocean Breeze just because I like the color combination, and I might do the other one peach and some yellow. I don't know, but I want this color. So let's go at it. And again, if you only have the stamp, go ahead and stamp them. That's okay. It just think of it as doing it in holiday colors. That is going to help you do it red and white, do it green and red. Just think of outside of what the stamp, was designed for, make it work for you. And I think this is a perfect example of how you can make your stamp, work for you and give it a holiday feel to it. So now we go into stencil 3. And that's just gonna, stencil 3 just kind of helps add more color to what you're working on. So let me just see here, making sure that I can see you guys. I like the large, you know what? We had this conversation, I was like, Heather, I think I need some because I use a lot of inks. So I'm gonna get re-inked because some of mine are really like drying up. So again, stencil number 3 is just gonna help you define, add more color. So I'm going with a darker color. This is passion fruit, but I'm staying within that family. So this is gonna give me that red tone, like, red and green, the classical red and green. I'm just reinterpreting that with, what do you call this? Kind of coral and teal. Okay, I'm not that much of a red and green person, never was. So this is like, if you see my Christmas tree, it has like, it has peach, it has white, it has gold, it has shades of blue. It's never been red or green. I dream of the day that I can make it all white. I dream of the day that I can do craft with white, So, but then again, that's just the way. I'm not a fan of like, lights of different colors. It's just personal choice. Never been, I was when I was a little girl, but as I grew, I like the fact that, if you put white light bulbs on your tree, then you can see your ornaments, you can see the colors of the bulbs. Again, personal choice, Some of the people might like more color. That's okay. Like I said, this is just, I'm customizing the paper to work for what I have in mind, but you're free to do it any way you like. So you see how I'm getting to that Christmassy look here with this. And again, these are going to become my peppermint candies. So this is my option of a peppermint candy. And this stencil, because it's not like completely perfect, it's very forgiving. So the first thing I'm going to say is be gentle with yourself, because we like perfection, but these were not designed for you to be perfect. Okay. So don't stress if they don't match. There we go. And we're almost finished for today. So next week, we're going to put it together. I'm going to show you more of the things that I've pulled and what I've done ahead of time. But this is pretty much the heaviest part of it. Then it's going to be a lot of die cutting, which we can do on camera. We're going to have to do that outside of the camera. Okay, so make sure that, I'm reading that there's notifications. Yeah, there's a lot of inks that are, out of stock, but you can always get them. And I'm okay. I'm not going to color this. It's actually going to be like, how you die cut twice to make it like a sandwich. This is going to be my extra one. So I'm not stressed over it. So stencil 5. Okay, I need to go into Berry Licious, which is the 3rd color in this family. That's going to give me a more of like that deeper reddish tone that we associate with Christmas. So a little bit here. I'm just kind of speeding it up because we got to go. So, but I want you to see how you can switch your stamp into something more holiday by just playing with the inks. And that's the beauty of stamps or stencils. You can customize them to whatever feel you want to give to your page. Okay, and this is pretty much all the ink that you, well, not pretty much. Most of the ink you're going to see in the project. The rest is going to be paper, die cutting, and a few more tips next week on how you can make some interactive pages, how you can add your photos, and talking about how we go about building the last part of the album. How's that? So you see, very Christmassy without having to be like, the typical red and green. And I might do the same, but the opposite, like a lot more green and less teal on the other one. But I think like, so we have that coordinating tones. There we go. And this here is Mermaid Cove. You saying it properly? Yeah. Which is the last of this, no, the 3rd color in the family, but this is the last stencil. So, okay, here we go. And we are done. Okay, so doesn't this look festive? Not the typical red and green, more of a teal and, red. But what do we have now? We have our covers. We have already one of the pockets. We have the other part. Let me just put the stuff away so we don't get messy. We have some of our covers. So you have an idea. You're going to have to cut at least 2 or 3 of this. We're going to glue them together. We're going to sandwich them. The tree is gonna go right on the center. We might have to sacrifice some of it. What you're gonna need though is some vellum, because the vellum we're gonna add on the back in here. We're gonna back the frames with the vellum so that it kind of dulls the pattern at the background a bit. Then the tree is gonna go on top of it. Then we're gonna add, a title, and I'm gonna show you what I've already done for that. And then we're gonna punch your holes. So next week when I see you, we're gonna build everything in place, but so you have an idea. So we have, these are gonna become some of your tags. Okay, so I'm showing you already, I'm adding color, I'm gonna do it. I've pulled some of my tags already. I have these, this is the classic tags with fillable elements. We might use that, but I also pulled the shaker tags. So I might cut one of this, one of the other one. So we have some of this. What I have done outside of the camera too is, this is the Slim Stitches die set. I love the fact that it actually looks like a sweater. So what I'm gonna do with this is gonna become also some of your tags, okay? So what I might do, I'm not saying like, I'm not gonna do it because it's simple. You can leave them white and actually add color to it. Or what you can do, which I'm gonna do anyways, it's get your brush and then just go over it. Get the leftover ink that you have on you, on your brushes, and then just add color. That's just gonna accent the embossing look or the cuts on the die cut in this case, or the cover plate, whichever way you want to call it. So just like that. And we're gonna cut this, and we're gonna, you can leave it, you can do two things. We can leave it flat, we can cut a tag out of it, but it's just like itself. You already have interest on the page because you already have the detail. Okay, so cut as many as you want to. I'm not gonna tell you how many. I'm gonna tell you that my album might have around 6 or 7. So I'm gonna cut tags. Another thing that I pulled, you're gonna see I pulled this, I pulled this, I pulled the ornate frame, because this is actually, it actually already has the pre-made hole, so you're just able to put it in your ring easily. You can frame your photos that way. You can add a lot of stuff. So we're gonna do this outside of the camera. We're gonna cut all of this, and next week we're gonna put it together. One second. And there we go. Hi guys. I'm sitting on top of my, I just realized I'm sitting on top of my scoring board. So there we go. Loosen my hair. There we go. So again, today we learned how to create your covers. We created the pocket. Again, and I'm thinking that actually this is going to be perfect to go back here, just to give you an idea. And I hope the light is not hitting it that much. So I know, but this is like, enough interest to create that, like, a pocket here. So there you go. Well, we added the color. That's what we go into, it's going to be your insert on the background. So we already have one of the pages here. Okay, here. This here is going to be, the trees are going to be your cover. So we have our cover. We already have our frames. I'm telling you already, back your frames with some vellum. So just get a piece of vellum, or get, you can do it with tracing paper too. You just want something that is going to take a little bit of the pattern from the background. So think of it, sometimes when you add gesso to the background, you dull the pattern. You want to do that so that the tree pops a little bit more. So you want to do that. Make sure you glue your frames together, back it with some vellum. If you have, I'm going to do it next week live so you can see it. But if you can do that ahead of time, go ahead. And I think Miss Tamp is the winner. I'm just reading the, the comments right now. So, make sure that you give Leah some days to claim your $15 gift card from the shop. And, so you can get some stuff. And remember the little candy, well, I'm going to call it peppermint candies that we created with the seamless starburst. We're going to cut tags out of it. So go ahead, create your candies any way you want. You want to use the fillable tag or the banner, go ahead, cut them both the same way because they're going to be back and front. Okay, so keep that. Cut a few of your ornate frames, cut a few of them. And what I have done outside of the camera, just to, you know, so you have an idea that I prepped for this, is I've gone and foiled quite a bit. Again, this is pink. I have some citrine, like it's kind of a greenish. I have some gold, okay? And what I did is I have some aura. I cut some of the shaker stars. One of the things we're gonna repeat throughout the album is pretty much the same element, so we tie it all together. And I thought the fillables, like the shaker stars, will be a great thing for that. So get all the stuff ready, and next week we'll see each other. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget that tomorrow Jeff is live with a new guest. I think it's Angela, if I'm not mistaken. And you'll be able to get the album done, Lori. Like I said, it takes some work. And that's what I say, it's gonna take, you know, the bones, like what you're gonna need to get ready is done today. Next week, go ahead and die cut as much as you can. Remember, this is like I think a 1.5 to 2 inch ring. So as much as you can put in this, we're gonna chunk it up. Don't worry, I'm gonna show you how next week we're gonna work on creating a rosette, which is gonna become like your dangling element at the front. So thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to check Jeff's live tomorrow. He's going live with, is it Angela tomorrow that's on the, I can't remember, I read it. And don't forget to check this week's sale, which is all the A2 stencils are on sale for this week. So remember that. Thank you so much for being here. As always, it's always fun. And I think next week we're gonna have a lot of fun when we just put everything together. So if you wanna put your photos, go ahead. I am not gonna put photos, but I'm gonna show you how you can actually just slip your photos after. So don't stress over that. And thank you so much, Heather, for helping. As always, I'm sorry I was late. Zoom wasn't friendly to me today. Thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Okay? Take care, guys.